Hey everybody, it's Eddie Joe in Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. Today's news is actually pretty good. So what do we have? We have Alex Krüger. He's a world-renowned economist. I don't know if you heard his name, but I have many a time. He's saying that Bitcoin and crypto in general are in a super cycle. And that's very interesting to me because, yeah, all roads point to a super cycle. And I also said that there's going to be a difference between this cycle and all the cycles in the past. There's also going to be a difference between this cycle and the next cycle. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I really do think it's going to be different. The level of adoption is going to be different. And I think it's not even a change between adoption and what's going on in the future. I think that the change right now that's happening in this bull cycle is absolutely driven by adoption. I think the change in the next bull cycle will be all about integration. And what I mean by that is the super cycle as we see it right now is being pushed by, being pushed by, the purchasing and investment in blockchain technology, meaning the cryptos themselves. The difference next time is going to be the actual integration of blockchain technology, the proliferation of the technology within financial systems, businesses in general, meaning you'll have a hell of a lot more companies accepting crypto, right? We're getting a lot of calls because our hosting platform already allows you to accept crypto directly without using a third party. So credit cards, PayPal, and crypto. That's the triumvirate right there. That's the killer combination. And Rebel Reach hosting actually has that. What else that we're seeing is that you have a lot of pilot programs going on right now. And I don't mean little pilot programs. I mean huge pilot programs. We're talking about banking settlements. We're talking about tokenization. We're talking about DeFi or decentralized finance. Right now, you have Project Guardian that has grown so big that now Moody's is involved in assessing the risk in DeFi. Now, that right there is huge because I don't think they're assessing the risk. I think they're trying to create their algorithm for assessing decentralized financial risk, right? I think that's what they're there for. Project Guardian is moving ahead full steam. Do some research on that, and you'll see all the players that are involved in that. It's not small. It's not small, and it's been going on for a couple of years now. And they've had some major wins over that little while. So I think the next cycle you're just going to see as a part of natural business, you're just going to see a whole bunch of companies go out there and say that, hey, we've now implemented blockchain into our settlements process. Why? Because for banks and other financial institutions, settlements is a very big deal. It takes a lot of time. It costs a lot of money. But blockchain, as far as Jenny Johnson from Franklin Templeton is pointing out, blockchain technology can actually decrease those costs by huge numbers. Not to mention the gain that you get in the speed of those settlements. So that's very, very big. So like I said, this super cycle is huge, but I think the next super cycle is going to be just as different as this one is, but because of integration, the normalizing of crypto. That is what you're going to see. You're going to see small businesses all over the place saying, I want my e-commerce site to accept crypto directly. I don't want a middleman. We're getting calls. And I think that's going to be the growing trend, is that you're going to see more of that in the future. Something else that happened that caught my attention, and it caught my attention because it involved banks. What is it? Lea Dougherty. She used to be a banker. I think the name of the bank is Exchange Bank of Missouri. She pled guilty to stealing about $2.93 million, almost $2.94 million from depositors. And that's not the amazing part. 2 points. The first one is she was able to leverage into, she knew the internal banking rules and she knew how to skirt them. She recognized the flaw and she capitalized on that flaw. Now, that's not even the surprising part. Sadly, the surprising part is that she was able to do this for 15 years. That's right, you heard me. Lea Dougherty pleaded guilty to stealing almost $2.94 million from depositors for over 15 years. She was able to divert those funds to hers and her family's accounts. 15 years. You didn't catch this woman for 15 years? What'd you do? Walk up to you and just say, hey, I did this. Like, what? So now, I'd be looking at, all these regional banks, all of these small banks. And the reason why I'd be looking at them is because a lot of these banks use the same software, the same business practices, the same everything. It's basically called bank in a box. You can go to certain companies and literally can get bank in a box. They give you all the software that you need, just about everything you need to actually open up your own bank. But I'd be looking at their practices. Big banks are held to account, and trust me, these big banks have major practices and policies to stop things like this. 15 years? That ought to tell you, small banks and regional banks, that could be a problem. That could absolutely be a problem. Then, on top of that, there's a crypto whale called Humpy that holds a lot of comp tokens, meaning, what's the name of the DAO? It's the Compound Finance DAO, right? And the coin is comp, C-O-M-P. And he's the big whale. So he called for a vote to move $25 million of comp tokens to an account that yields but the account is controlled by him and his friends, called the Golden Boys. That kind of subverts the whole point of a DAO, right? People are freaking out over this. Absolutely freaking out. So when I hear that countries or people want to accumulate so much that they can control a token, I immediately lose interest in that token. Like, if I see that happening, I will immediately lose interest in that token. Because what? That's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for at all. Just get that right. Sorry about that. So imagine if somebody did that with Bitcoin. Now, back in the day, there was a lot of controversy over a lot of miners being in China, because that would mean that a single state or country would be able to control Bitcoin. If you obtain 51%, there are things that you can do. That's why a lot of care is taken as to all of that. So when I hear somebody talk about that, I kind of go, 1, you don't know what you're talking about. 2, if that's what you're looking to do, you are actually anti-crypto. That's true. If that's what you're looking to do, is control a coin to your advantage, you are actually anti-crypto, because crypto is all about decentralization. Let's not get it twisted, folks. That's what it's all about. Because if it wasn't about decentralization, none of us would be able to make money from it, because it would be controlled by the powers that be, the people that do have money. So those of us that are trying to make money would be kept out. So yeah, I worry about anybody that's talking about, I want to control something like that. So that move by Humpy, that's a scary move. So if you're holding comp, yeah, you might want to think about that. BlackRock has issued a warning about the increase in scams ever since they launched their Ethereum Spot ETF. And they're saying, be wary and be careful, right? I mean, they're saying that vigilance is going to be your number one tool. Understanding what you're doing, how you're doing it, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with, and who they're doing it with, right? So if you're investing in something, if you're investing in a digital asset, basic research. Who's involved in the project? How long has that project been out there? How many coins are still held by the developers of the project? How many coins are out there in public for the project? Just everything that's going on with that particular project. Are there any deals or this, that, and the other? Take a deeper dive. You're talking about your money. Don't do a cursory review. Do not depend on influencers and talking heads to tell you, oh, hey, this coin is great. And I told you last week that the reason why I wouldn't do that, the reason why I do my own research is because you have celebrity coins after 30 days dropping 94%. So that whole influencer thing, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do your own research, understand who's involved with the project, how long the project's been around, how much of the project is out there. Because again, right now, you've got a ton of token unlocks by Avalanche, by XRP, by a whole bunch of tokens that are out there that you should be paying attention to because it's going to affect the price. Something else that's going to affect XRP's price is going to be Judge Torres still deliberating over the final aspects of that case. That's going to have a major effect. Well, it could have a major effect. We're talking about penalties and stuff. So we'll see. Because remember, the government wants $2 billion. XRP, Ripple said they want to pay $10 million. Kind of a big difference there, right? They're going to pay something. I think it's going to be closer to $1 billion. That's really what I think. I think the $2 billion is an overshoot. I think $10 million is a joke. And Judge Torres is going to come over and say, probably tap them for about $1 billion, in my humble opinion. If it's less, then that's great for Ripple, right? And it'll be considered a huge win. If it's more, if it's closer to the 2 billion, well, you won, but you have to pay for your past. That's the way I would take it. Then you have Grayscale already starting their nonsense with dumping on Ethereum. They're already dumping on Ethereum. They've already moved $358 million worth of Ethereum has already been moved over to Prime. So Coinbase Prime. That means that they are gearing up to just dump. The same thing that they did with Bitcoin. Same thing that they did with Bitcoin. So pay attention. But something that could be driving efforts, like I said, there are a couple of notes that could be driving things up. You have municipalities like Wisconsin Pension Fund, New Jersey's pension fund, or Jersey City's pension fund, buying into Bitcoin spot ETFs. I told you guys yesterday that I'm expecting a lot of institutional investment into the spot ETFs, both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think that's going to be a huge space for a win. So for me, I'm looking at that and I'm going, yeah, we have an opportunity right there. The pump up that you're seeing that's hitting close to above 69,000, close to 70, that's not from the speeches that happened this weekend. That's happening because you're seeing institutional investment pop up. You're now hearing publicly about Moody's jumping in on Project Guardian. You're hearing about municipalities jumping in and purchasing. That's what that's coming from. And then that news from JP Morgan that, hey, $35 trillion is going to be our debt. We're rapidly approaching that. And don't let them fool you. It's not about, the entitlements that the United States gets, for their citizens, social Security and the rest of it, Medicare, Medicaid. That's not what it's from. It's from giving tax breaks to those that can actually afford to pay those taxes. When you give billions of dollars away in tax breaks, you're going to have to pay for it somehow. You're going to have to pay for it somehow. That trickle down idea, not working. So JP Morgan is like, yo, hey, it's right, just running toward, a high freaking $35 trillion, debt. You might want to not be invested in the US dollar. You might want to invest in other assets. What are other assets? That's right. It's going to be crypto. It's going to be crypto. It's going to be real estate. It's going to be real assets that can do things. But nothing really in the US dollar. We're going to have to bite the bullet, and taxes are going to go up. No matter what party wins, taxes are going to go up. The point of it is, who's going to be paying those taxes? That is the question. Pay attention to the candidate that wants the lower person, the smaller companies to pay the taxes versus the big companies that got, huge tax write-offs that are literally campaigning on tax write-offs. Government spending is what's hurting. Retail investment, that's what you need to be into, in my humble opinion. If you want to get ahead, you're going to have to invest. And that investment for me is crypto. It's crypto, real estate, and, obviously my businesses. If you want to get ahead, that's going to have to be how you get ahead. And I'm trying to move away. Like holding cash, of course, you're going to have to hold some cash. But holding a lot of crypto, yeah. That's where I'm really at. Holding crypto. Why? Because it protects me from the US dollar. Sad but true. Excuse me. That's really how I'm looking at it. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should look at the numbers. So let me get my notes out of the way. Pull this up. There you go. So let's look at the winners and losers. Let me refresh this real quick, as I haven't refreshed it in like 15, 20 minutes. Let's see if we get any big changes. There you go. So let's look at the biggest losers right now. This is actually the Grow My Bag crypto tracker. This is going to be on sale this week. The biggest losers, right here is good. The biggest losers, let's see. Compound, obviously, dropping 5%. But look at these numbers. Underneath, my rule, underneath 5%. Do I have to pay attention? No. But I am going to say this. I'm expecting Compound to drop more. I'm absolutely expecting Compound to drop more. Right? Your Ajax, your Singularity.net, that should have been moved over already. Curve Dow, flat, basically 2%. Look how it gets to zero real fast on this side. Let's go over to the winner's side. On the winner's side, never heard of those two. Book of Meme is up 20%, double digits, deep double digits. Their GMB X factor, 1.61x. That's an interesting number. That's a very interesting number to me. Bitcoin Cash, up 14%. Its GMB X factor is 7.42. Now, I would ask myself, do I believe that Bitcoin Cash can it achieve its all-time high again? I mean, it's 88% off its all-time high. 88%. Can it achieve that all-time high again? I'm a little iffy. On if it can achieve that all-time high again in this bull run. Possible, highly possible. Because remember, this bull run isn't expected to end until next year. So can it? Highly possible. But at 7.42x, can I see a 3, 4, even a 5x easily in this bull run? Yeah. I think it's highly possible. But but when I look at basically $450 to $3,785, woof, I don't necessarily see that happening. So there are things that I can weigh, other numbers I can weigh to give me the opportunity to say, well, do I think that's going to happen, and put a number on it and be able to say, yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think this is going to happen. That's a valuable tool. eCash, eCash, the first crypto, 13%, up 13%. It has an 8.01, basically an 8x, a GMB X factor of 8x. That is pretty interesting. Let's see what else. Meme coins, another meme coin, Brett, is up 10%. Its X factor is 0.38%, 0.38x. Again, their GMB X factor is only 0.38x. So what you would be calculating is, what are the chances of it going beyond its all-time high? How far do you think it's going to be? And then figure out what that X factor would be. Then you have, let's see, who else is up here that I pay attention to? Arweave, up 8%. They have a 1.69 X factor. Turbo, we were talking about Turbo for a while, down 41% from its all-time high. It's only a 0.7x from its all-time high. Pendle is another one people were talking about. It's only got a 0.82x factor, and it is 45% off its all-time high. Aerodrome is another one that we were talking about. It's got a GMB X factor of 1.54x. Could it achieve that? Highly possible. I think highly possible. Ondo and Beam up 6% each. Ondo has a 0.44x factor, and Beam has a 1.33 GMB X factor. Do I think that both of those could actually do it? Yeah. I believe that those two could actually do it. Definitely. So those are things that I'm paying attention to at this point in time. It's not that I'm buying in, it's that I'm paying attention to what some of these coins are capable of, in my humble opinion, and then figuring out if that's where I want to be. I missed Radium. Radium's up 9%. It has an X factor of 5.52x. Now, that one is interesting because although I don't think it can hit a 5x, even a 5.52x, I do think it could hit a 2 or 3x. So that's something that I'm paying attention to as well. Let's go over to the numbers. And you can see we've got a lot of companies actually reporting. We've got McDonald's this week, On Semiconductor, Royal Phillips, just to name a few. We have a few that are getting out there. CNA Financial is another one. So we should be paying attention to all of these companies that are coming out this week with their earnings reports. Then this week, let's see, what do we have coming up? We have job openings on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. The home price index from Case Shiller. Wednesday, we have ADP employment numbers, pending home sales, an FOMC interest rate decision, and then obviously a Powell conference thereafter on Wednesday. We've got on August 1st, initial jobless claims, productivity. Okay, all right. Then we have the earnings report on Friday. That's going to be telling. That's going to be very interesting. A fear and greed index is at 74 at this moment in time. The total value locked is $108 billion. Again, my happy space for this right now is about 125. That's higher than what we've been before, but that's the number that I've set as to being the number that I need us to be above for a little while before we start going after these numbers back here, which we're in the 200s, right? The next ones that I see, look how Bitcoin is moving right now. I told you we need to maintain above 69,355. That's where my green bar is, right? And currently we're at 69,459. So if we can maintain above $69,355, we could be in a very good place with Bitcoin. Consolidate above that number for a little while, and then I think we would see a shoot up. And I think the cause of that shoot up, the catalyst, would be greater institutional investment in Bitcoin and spot ETFs, which means that they have customers in the retail space that are clamoring for that exposure. Just saying, call your advisor, see if you can get in on it as well, if that's what you're interested in. Then you're looking at the big board, and like I said, Arweave is up big time. Brett, Ondo, MakerDAO, Ruin is up. LTC is up. Bitcoin Cash is up. These are all, for me, to be frank, a lot of these coins are nowhere near their all-time highs, right? They're nowhere near their all-time highs. This page obviously needs to be refreshed because those are not the right numbers. Because we're at 16. Because if you're looking at coin market cap, you know we're at 69. So let me see if I can refresh that real quick because these are wrong. Oh no, they're still coming back. There's a discrepancy between Coin 360 and Coin Market Cap. And if I'm going to believe either one, it's going to be Coin Market Cap. So Coin Market Cap, Bitcoin is up 64% for the year. Ethereum is only at 48% for the year. Remember, they had been in the 50s last week, or it had been in the 50s last week. That's something I'm definitely paying attention to. You have Solana just skyrocketing. Do you see that number right there? Do you see that number right there? $191.61. Over the past 90 days, up 46%. Over the past year to date, 88%. 30 days, 35%. It's been quietly just moving positively, just gently moving. And look at that. Just look at the number, how it's been moving. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, yeah, we have to pay attention to that. Is it because of all the memes? Yes, it's because of all of the memes. If you see memes going up, you're going to see Solana go up. That's where all that traffic is coming from. That also means that when some of these memes fail or, start to come back down, you will also see Solana come back down. So get in on it while you can and pay attention to what's going on so that when it hits a certain level, you can get out, as soon as you can. Solana is a different kind of coin, a very different kind. It's in the top 4, but I'm telling you, it's everybody kept talking about how it's going to take over Ethereum. I just don't see that. Ethereum is based on real projects doing real things. You know what I mean? Where Solana, the bulk of it is coming in to be meme coins. Hundreds of thousands of meme coins a day, a week, rather. So yeah, that's just too much. They're making that money off the traffic of those memes. So, okay. When that traffic dies down, then what? Just saying, that's something to pay attention to. XRP starting to move into better territory. Why? I see this 1.33 down for year to date. But I'm saying that court case coming to a close, Judge Torres, deliberating. Good or bad news, it almost doesn't matter. And the reason why is because it's going to be a matter of we're done. That's what it's going to be about. We're done. It's finished. It's final. That's what everybody's waiting for. Toncoin, taking it on the chin lately, but slowly starting to move back up. Just a little while ago, it was at like $6.60 or something like that. And it's starting to move back up gently. But for the year to date, it's up 1.93 and 0.5%. Can't shake a stick at it. Can't even be mad. Shiba Inu is up 66%. Bitcoin Cash up 73%. Year to date, I'm paying attention to year to date. And then I start to pay attention to all the numbers in between, right? Just to try to get a handle on what the daily rhythms are. Just what the rhythm is over time. So I can see when is a good time to buy in, when is a bad time to buy in. Get used to its ebb and flow, right? Shiba Inu has been sitting at 17, around 17.1, just in the 17s for a while. I'm expecting that it's going to start to shoot up. I really do expect it's going to be one of those ones that shoots up from here. Since last year, it's already X'd. Nobody's paying attention, but I am, because I see it in my account. It's already X'd, and I'm talking like 3X thus far for me, right? So I do pay attention to those things. You can, and I think that there are a few of these coins that you can still get in on. Look at this price for Chainlink. It's only $13.82. It wasn't that long ago that it was at $17. All right, well, it's an opportunity to me. It's an opportunity to me. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button. Definitely subscribe. And if you can, become a member both on YouTube and on growmybag.tv. We have so much going on, so many articles that are coming out on a daily basis. And there are different levels that you can join. You can join just to see a few articles. You can see the articles and our insights. You can see the articles, insights, just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's a social media platform. And you get to hear me every night, 7 p.m., weeknights on YouTube and on growmybag.tv. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.